Welcome to Fireside Mysteries. Tonight's story, the Halloween Séance. Everyone does dumb things at college, but not everyone summons a malevolent spirit. We did, 5 years ago, Halloween night. We summoned something, and every Halloween since, one of us has died. I'm the last one left, and tonight is Halloween. I think I know how to stop it. I hope I know how to stop it. If you're hearing this, I either survived or someone found this recording. This is what happened 5 years ago. The party had all but ended. We were the stragglers at Derek's house, not wanting to call it a night. We were happy and young and not afraid of hangovers or spirits. October 31st, 5 years ago, in Indiana. "Oh my God, we should do a séance," Marie had said. Predictable, but we laughed. "Hold on, I have a Ouija board." Derek sprinted out of the room. "Your family's weird," I said. We laughed some more. 5 of us settled on the floor of his living room. "How do we do this?" asked Joanne, looking anxious. "Okay, I'm looking up instructions on my phone." Matthew, the tech guru, was flicking through pages at speed. "Shh, be quiet." More giggling. Derek came back, waving the board. "I know who we can contact. My great-aunt Mabel. Did you ever meet her?" "Dude, she died in like 1987. No, duh." The board was laid out, and Matthew told us all to put our fingers on the pointer. The lights were off. We lit some candles. Matthew started a chant, squinting at his phone as he did. "Nobody break the connection. Don't take your hand off the board." Suddenly, the pointer began to move. "Is that you?" hissed Joanne to me. "No," I hissed back. "I'm not doing anything." Derek spoke. "Aunt Mabel, is that you?" The pointer jerked to 4 letters. S-U-R-E. Sure. We stopped laughing. "How old was Mabel when she died?" whispered Matthew, tense. Derek swallowed. "Over 90. "That's not really how a 90-year-old would speak, is it?" I asked. The pointer moved again. H-I-I-I. "Hi?" Joanne whispered. "Who is this?" The pointer moved again. "Not Mabel." "What do you want?" I asked, shaking slightly. There was no movement for over a minute. We looked at each other. Then the pointer jerked violently. Y-O-U. "You?" I whispered. "Opened the door." "We opened a door?" Derek's laugh was nervous. "What door?" The temperature dropped. I could see my breath. "Thank you." "Guys, this isn't funny," Joanne said, but we knew that none of us were controlling the pointer. It was moving faster now, more confident. "Same time." "What does that?" Matthew started. "Next year." The pointer didn't stop. It kept circling back, spelling the same words. "And the next. And the next. And the next." "Stop it!" Joanne screamed, pulling her hand away. The circle broke. The candles flickered and went dark. The lights came back on and we sat looking at each other. "That was weird," Marie said. We laughed nervously. But the humour and warmth we'd felt earlier had vanished. "Maybe your brother booby-trapped the board somehow," said Matthew, always rational. We liked that idea. Yes, this was an elaborate hoax. It wasn't real. How could it be? We said goodnight and went home, knowing that when the next day came round, this would just seem like the bad joke we were sure it was. I went home that night exhausted. The adrenaline had worn off. As I got ready for bed, I found myself humming a song my grandmother used to sing, La vie en rose, life in pink, life through rose-coloured glasses. Everything's beautiful when you're young and stupid. I fell asleep, humming it. We tried to forget about our séance. For a whole year, we'd finished college and were busy interning and updating our resumes. We kept in touch, but we'd also drifted. We had made some plans to meet up after Halloween, the unspoken agreement that we didn't want to remember how unsettled we were about the year before. We'd agreed to meet for brunch on November the 1st. 4 of us were there, but Derek wasn't answering his phone or replying to texts. Then we got a call from a college friend. A hit and run, an accident. Last night at 11:47 p.m. Halloween. The funeral was a blur. His parents grieving, his brother James in shock. At the wake, James pulled me aside. "You guys used the Ouija board that night, didn't you?" His eyes were red from crying. I nodded, at first unable to speak, but then I found the courage to ask, "You didn't do anything to the board, did you? You didn't mess with it to mess with us?" But I already knew the answer as he shook his head slowly. "Take it," he said, pressing the box into my hands. "Please, I don't want it in the house anymore. Mom keeps hearing things." I took it. It scared me, but part of me thought maybe we'd need it later. But surely it's just a coincidence, I thought, remembering the phrase, "Same time, next year, and the next, and the next." I shut down that thought. This was just a tragic accident. I kept the Ouija board safe, but also out of sight. Another year passed, and the 4 of us were doing our best to get on with our lives. When Halloween came around, Matthew texted on our group chat, tentatively asking if we should all get together. "No, I don't think so. I think I just want to be on my own," Joanne had replied. We all agreed. I spent Halloween tucked up in bed, but I couldn't sleep. I texted Matthew separately. Out of all of us, we were the 2 who seemed to be taking the seance's warning most seriously. Joanne refused to discuss it, and Marie flat out denied anything scary had happened. "Text me in the morning?" I typed out. "Of course," came his immediate reply. I paused. "Can you text me after midnight?" "Yes, you too." Midnight held the key. I breathed a sigh of relief when 12:02 came round, and we both texted each other. No other messages flashed up. Maybe Derek had just suffered a tragic accident. If only. The news came through later in the morning. Joanne had died in a freak electrocution accident. A power cable snapped and hit her on her bike as she was cycling. She didn't stand a chance. Her funeral was just as sad as Derek's, another young life lost senselessly. But now other mutual friends were avoiding standing with us, and Joanne's family was shooting us suspicious glances. Marie had refused to come. "I suppose it does look odd," I said to Matthew. 2 people from the same friendship group die a year apart. "Let's get out of here," Matthew muttered. "I've been doing some research," he said, once we'd left. Of course he had, I thought, smiling. Ever practical. In Matthew's mind, there had to be an answer somewhere. "I've looked through old books, documents. I've reached out on internet message boards. If we work together, maybe we can beat whatever this is." I nodded and tried to look positive. We still had time. And there's something else. I don't know if you've noticed, but Derek was older than Joanne. I frowned. "Okay, what are you getting at?" He continued, "And Joanne is older than Marie? Then it's my birthday, and then yours. You're the youngest out of all of us." I gasped. "So you think Marie might be next?" We had a year to find out. Over the next 12 months, we spent all our free time researching and travelling. We went to New Orleans. Matthew even travelled to France after we found out where the Ouija board was made. We asked James about its history, who had brought it into his family, but he didn't know. And then it was October, the month of the year we now dreaded. We didn't tell Marie of our concerns. She'd all but ghosted us, determined to believe Joanne and Derek had died accidentally. But we did message her before Halloween. Maybe if we were all together, we could somehow push back against this curse. She refused. "I appreciate what you're saying," she'd emailed, "but I'm fine. I'm spending time with some friends on Malta. We're going to enjoy the sun and the sea, and I'm not thinking about anything sad. I miss them too, but we have to move on." Matthew and I spent Halloween night together, phones in our hands, waiting. Midnight came and went. We were still breathing. "Do you think she's okay?" I whispered. Matthew checked his phone. "She posted a photograph on Instagram. Beach sunset yesterday. She looks happy." We wanted to believe that meant she was safe. The Facebook post from her mother came 2 days later. Marie had drowned just before 6 a.m. A morning swim, her friend said, but she must have been more tired than she realised. They'd been swimming under a magical sky. 1 minute she was there, laughing. The next she was gone. The ocean had taken her. miles from home. It didn't matter. It found her anyway. The funeral would be private, just family, the post said. Matthew and I sent flowers and condolences. Just the two of us left. One night, I woke suddenly. I felt my pillow and it was damp. I'd been crying in my sleep. I thought I could hear La Vie en Rose playing somewhere. I shook my head like a dog shaking water from its ears, and the sound faded away. It was the end of April, 6 months to go. Matthew had stopped researching, but I was redoubling my efforts. I just want to enjoy the time I have left, he smiled. But that's ridiculous, I said. You're not dying. My voice trailed away. I am, he replied. It's just, unlike most people, I know when. Before midnight, October 31st this year. And I'd rather spend my time with the people I love and travelling. I'm lucky. And that's what we did. I took unpaid leave from work and we travelled. We hiked, we climbed a mountain, a very small one, and we went to Malta to meet some of Marie's friends and spend time in the place where she'd been happy. Then October arrived. Matthew put all his affairs in order and handed me letters. Can you give these out once, if I'm not here in November? I nodded. I saw there was one for me. That night, we got out the Ouija board and asked questions. So many questions. The wind was furious outside, but the board stayed silent. At 11 p.m, Matthew said, I don't want you to be here for whatever might come next. No, I'm staying. I have to stay. He put his hand on my shoulder. If something happens and you were the last one left, then people are going to ask more questions than they have already. You still have a year to try and break this thing. You have to try. He hugged me and pushed me out of his house. I ran home, the Ouija board under my arm. The next day, I got a call from Matthew's flatmate. He died after eating something with peanuts in it. He'd always been so careful. But he died just before 1 a.m, not midnight. 1 a.m. I felt confused. It was always midnight. Then it hit me. 1 a.m. in Vermont was midnight in Indiana. And when Marie died, just before 6 a.m. in Malta, well, that was nearly midnight. In Indiana, I needed to go back, where it all began. James has been very kind. When I called him last week and asked if I could use the house on Halloween night, there was a long pause. Then he said yes. Yesterday, when he handed over the keys, he hugged me tight. I hope you figure it out, he whispered. But if you don't, thank you for trying. I think he knows this might be the last time we meet. It's strange being back here. It's been a strange year. I quit my job and I've been living on my savings. I tried to continue Matthew's research. He left me detailed notes in an email that came through a few days after his death. His letter to me was beautiful and simple. He was giving me all the tools he could to help me survive. But as October approached, I felt a calmness coming over me, like Matthew had. I'd spent my time quietly, with family and by the sea. I felt so scared for so long, and yet now, back here, I felt peaceful. I used part of my year raising money for a charity my grandmother cherished. I wanted to do something meaningful with the time I had left. We didn't deserve to lose our lives. It was a stupid, silly game. But we'd unleashed something powerful and evil that had no conscience. I lit 5 candles and turned out the lights. I opened the Ouija board and sat by the unlit fire, crossing my legs and breathing. I put both my index fingers on the pointer. I don't want to die. Can't you let me live? The pointer moved.
Not how this works.
Why? Nothing. Then,
Came out to play.
who are you? Silence. Will it hurt? The pointer circled lazily.
Maybe.
More silence. I thought it was done. Then,
Bored now. Going home.
I held my breath. 1 minute to midnight. The pointer moved one last time.
Do you like games?
I paused. There was really only one response. Sure. I think I heard a small laugh. I looked at my watch. It was after midnight. Relief flooded through me. I sat back and breathed a huge sigh. I felt very sleepy, but I'm here, alive. I started to extinguish the candles one by one, and then I finished up my recording. A sudden thought popped in my head. I looked again at my watch. Wait, is it running fast? It's 12:05 a.m, November the 1st. I'm still alive. It said it was going home. It said it was bored, maybe. Maybe it's really left. I'm putting out the candles. I'm so tired. I'm just going to sleep here, just to be sure, just in case. Tomorrow I'll figure out what to do with this recording. But tonight, oh my God, I'm just grateful to be breathing.
6:47 a.m, November 1st.